audience get bored, maybe sleepy, and so on. Okay, now to make a good speech, you have to remember the structure of speech itself. Does anyone want to mention it for me? The structure of the speech? Okay, now let's hear. Uh-huh. Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, first is structure of speech. You have to do the introduction. What is the introduction? Introduction is general information that you have to tell your audience what you are going to tell. Okay, and then when you break your audience, they will thank you, and then you continue with the body. The body is the main topic that you are going to tell your audience. After that, at the end, you have to do conclusion or summarize what your topic about the whole speech. But right now, we are going to focus to the topic of speech. Are you still with me here?
Yes.
Thank you.
Always.
In making the body of speech, you have to determine the main idea. What are they? First is identify essential content. Ask yourself, what is the purpose of your speech? Are you informing, persuading, or entertaining? Your main idea should directly support your goal. And then is focus on the key messages. Focus to the messages that you are going to tell to your audience. Choose 2 or 4 main ideas that your audience must understand. And last is avoid random fact. Okay, why? Because it will confuse the audience and distract them, so it will make weaken your message and also will waste your time. If your speech already remind these 3 points, it means you are on halfway to preparing your speech. Why I said so? Because based on Stephen A. Lucas' book in The Art of Public Speaking, he outlines a few essential principles and methods to structure the body of speech. He points 5 organizing patterns. The first one is chronological order. Second is spatial order, third is causal order, fourth is problem-solving order, and the last is topical order. Okay, we are going to dive deeper into understanding those order one by one. Now let's start with chronological order. What is chronological order? Chronological order is the main topic arranged step by step according to the time. The structure follows step-by-step sequence from the beginning to the end. It's just like telling a story to your audience. And when it's useful or when we can use this? You can use this when you are describing historical events, such as maybe you're going to tell about the Independence Day. You can start how is the beginning and so on until right now. And then second is you want to explain how something has evolved or changed over time. For example, maybe like right now, online classes is very common right now. Maybe you can tell how is this story behind that online classes that already common right now. Okay, and the last one going to have, or how the neighborhood will be when you got this house. Okay, that's the order that I already explained. Next, we'll continue with by Miss Sophie for
Hello,
another
thank you,
order.
Ms. Mia, for the explanation. And next, I will explain about partial order. The main topic sometimes arrange cause and effect order. It shows the relationship between cause and their effect. This structure helps the audience understand why something happened and what happens as a result. We use this order to explain the reason something occurred, to discuss the consequences of situation or action, to present by showing the impact of cause. The example topic, the effect of poor time management. And you have to remember the pattern of disorder. It can cause to effect or the opposite, effect to cause. And next, problem to solution order. Problem solution order is a method of organizing the speech where you first present problem, then explain the solution. This structure is commonly used in persuasive and informative speeches to motivate the audience to take action or understand an issue clearly. The example topic, conflict solution in the lesson. When we use problem solution order to address the specific challenge or issue, to propose a clear and practical solution, and to persuade the audience to adopt an idea, change of behavior, or support a cause. And last, topical order is a method of organizing speech by breaking the main topic into subtopic or categories. Each part focuses on different ideas that support the overall topic. This order commonly used and easy to apply. When we can use this order, of course, when there is no need to follow time, chronological, spatial, or cause-effect order. Why flexible? Flexible as long as you divide the main topic in one by one. And informative and persuasive, organized and easy to follow. And next, here we have some helpful tips to make your speech organized well. The first one, there is clarity. Keep your main point distinct and focused and easy to understand. Use simple and clear language or well organized. And the second one, there is consistency. Use similar wording pattern for each point, some style, tone, or structure. And there is balance. Allocate equal time and importance to each main idea. Make it fair, equal attention and time to each point. And last, using connectives to support your speech. Here we have some connectives that you can use. The first one, that is transitions. Bridge the main idea to maintain flow. You can use such as next, on the other hand, in addition, finally, and etc. And the second one, there is internal reviews. Outline the upcoming content. The connective you can use such as, now let's look at the tree because of global warming, and there is internal summaries. They have the key point of your speech. You can use, so far we can discuss about something happened in this world or anything. And the last one, that is signpost. Highlight important information on given topic. The example connective such as first, second, let's explain about blah blah blah. And okay, we end our presentation. Let's conclude our topic for this morning. To sum up, organizing the body of your speech is essential for delivering a message that is clear, structured, and engaging. Whether you can use chronological, spatial, also problem solution, or topical order. By choosing the right structure, it will help your audience stay on your track and understand your main idea. By applying clarity, consistency, balance, and effective connectives, ensure your speech flows naturally. Well, organized body isn't just middle part of speech, it's the core that supports your entire That's all from our presentation, and Sean for answer questions.
Okay. Yesterday we already raised your questions. Here we are going to try to answer it. Here, first is how to ensure my key messages are clear and concise. Actually, once you prepare your note and organize your speech and follow the pattern based on the method that we already know before, I think you are on halfway to make sure your audience understand your message. But maybe you can determine this point to make it sure how your idea or your message will taken by your audience. First is stick to main idea. Know your main point. Identify the core message you want your audience take or understand, and then focus to the main idea one by one. And second one, use simple and direct language. It means like avoid the jargon or complex vocabulary and speak short or clear sentence. And organize your idea logically or clear. It means structure your speech with beginning, middle, and end. And maybe you can use the connective that we already suggest you, such as next, first, at the end, finally, so on. And then repeat the key ideas. Repeat what is the main ideas that you're going to tell, like emphasizing the main idea to your audience, and practice with limit time. As Dr. Manny said, practice before you do your speech, because to make sure you have a clear pronunciation, clear understanding about your topic. And last, get feedback. So maybe you can take a time with your friends practicing and make sure your friends get it. And you have to note, don't overload your ideas with unnecessary words, because clarity is better than quantity. So I think it's like simple better than you talk a lot of things but it's nonsense to your main idea. Okay. The second one is the question is the difference between nature body movement and the force body movement. Okay, now let's have a look one by one first. How's nature body movement? First is unconscious or go by the flow. So when you speak, just go by the flow. You don't need to think about something like, when I have to talk this, my hand have to go this way or that way. No, just go by the flow. And then synchronize with your speech. When you want to talk something, synchronize your movement and your speech. And next one is comfortable and relaxed. I'm sure when you feel it's like when you understand your speech, it will get you relaxed and it will deliver to your audience like comfortably. And next is purposeful. Mean like you have the exactly main point that you're going to tell to your audience. And last one is culturally appropriate. It means like maybe some of us have different culture background, so make sure it's like general. And the example, maybe you can smiling during speech, and then maybe you greet your audience like, hello, are you with me here? Or how are you today? Something like that. It's like naturally come to you to attract your audience. And while the first movement is unnatural or mechanical, it's like robotic. It's like, how to say, it's helpful like this. To say that. So it's like it's not really natural. You make it because you like when this word I have to raise your hand, for example. It's like mechanical. It's like robotic. And it's the opposite. It's out of synchronized with your main point. And it's awkward or distracting. Of course, when maybe you want to tell about the sky, but your hand is point to the ground. It's awkward, of course. And then repeat without purpose. Maybe you repeated the same words from the beginning until the end. And then sign of nervous. Maybe you look nervous when you nervous, your audience will feel it that too. And the example, yeah, that's I already told the example. So natural movement support communication, one distract from it. So practice in front of others and watching a video of yourself can help you spot the difference and adjust the needed. Like, yeah, once again practice. Okay. And the next question will be answered by
I will answer number 3. How can we effectively convey the key points in the body of speech and the audience? Effectively convey key points in the body of speech. The first one is use clear and concise language, avoid jargon and complex terminology, organize logically, such as structure your points in a logical sequence, and use supporting evidence, include examples, statistics, or expert opinion. And make it engaging. Use storytelling techniques, rhetorical device, or emotional appeal. And use visual aids, incorporate slides, video, or props to illustrate points. And then find tone and pace. Use vocal inflections and close for emphasize. And the last one is summarize and transition. To get key points and smoothly transition to the next. And then number 4, how you will maintain audience interest, soul of the speech. To maintain the audience interest toward the body of speech, you can use humor, inject humor into your speech to make it more enjoyable and memorable. Involve the participants, ask questions, encourage response, or even involve them in short activities. And relevant, connect your speech to audience interest, experience, and values. Example, think about your own experiences. How have you seen this happen in your own work? Okay. And the last will explain.
Okay, now let's come up to the last question. Okay, how can we use anecdote and example in the body of speech to illustrate our point? So actually, we can use anecdote, example in the body of speech to make our points clearer, more relatable, and memorable. How? You have to maybe start by choose the right stop story. It's no need to make a long story. If you can make it short and it gets your main idea, it's better. Okay, start by choosing maybe a real life situation example. Maybe long time ago when I was junior high school, so you can relate it to your life story. And next, keep it simple and specific. Make sure your anecdote is simple, specific, and easy for your audience to understand. It's back again to the culture. Maybe we have a different culture. Maybe if I tell a story that's on my culture, some of you will not get it. So make sure you have to think about that too. And then place it strategically. What does it mean? Like you have to point out, and then once you think it's strategic to give example, then you can apply that example. And then use personal story when possible. Why? Because sometimes emotional connection with your audience is needed, so it's better use your own experience or maybe someone that you admire. Like long time ago, my lecturer went to this and then tell them like, okay. And last, 5 is choose relevant and real work example. It's back to previous slide, like random example will become your message. Remember that. So make sure it's a real example that you maybe experience or maybe you know it. And the last one is always link back to your message. So keep it in your top